Once again, good morning. If you're just tuning in, this is just about 5 minutes past the hour mark of 8. And yes, you are onto the signals of 96.1 FM, the voice of the people. And this is the arena. I am the man in the middle. You could say I'm the umpire, but my job is to make sure that we have a clean, clear, interactive, engaging conversation. As today on the arena, we look at the call for the federal government to rethink its approach to the power sector, ending indirect enrichment of DisCos, yes, private electricity distribution companies with public funds. Now, as far as the current administration is concerned, it will tell Nigerians that it has done everything possible to ensure that Nigerians enjoy more or less adequate supply of electricity. Well, guess what? We hear that in a bid to resolve a 4 trillion naira debt owed to power generation companies, government is finalizing plans to remove Nigeria's electricity sector to a more cost. But here we are again. They are telling us that the government is finalizing plans to move Nigeria's electricity sector to a more cost-reflective tariff regime. But industry watchers fear that the move, salutary as it may seem, will during the Mission 300 stakeholders engagement here in the nation's capital, Abuja, where he reaffirmed the government's commitment to eliminating blanket electricity subsidies, replacing them with targeted support for low-income and vulnerable households. Some would say it's purely semantics. Well, according to the minister, the power ministry's key priorities include liquidity resolution, tariff reform, and grid stability. Well, according to him, the federal government was actually working on modalities to defray the accumulated liabilities while also ensuring that new debts are no longer incurred by transitioning the sector to a full cost-reflective regime. Now, Adeleabo also emphasized the government's plan to recover idle generation capacity, expand Nigeria's energy mix to include cheaper and cleaner energy sources, and scale up investment reform, or the suggested reform by the minister. 1. Phased removal of subsidies with targeted subsidies for vulnerable groups, recovery of idle generation capacity, and in thermal or thereabout, that we're now going to have a mix of off-grid and solar, wind. Basically, that is what energy mix suggests. Well, the other focus area is grid stability initiatives to curb frequent collapses and improve national grid coordination. I mean, so far, we could, with our fingers crossed, we could say the grid hasn't collapsed in recent times, right? But we can remember what happened in the first half of the year, the several times that the grid collapsed, but somehow they managed to show it up, ensure that the grid has not collapsed thus far. Well, distribution sector transformation, there are initiatives such as the Presidential Mentoring Initiative and the World Bank funded Distribution Sector Recovery Program. So these are the focus areas, 4 focus areas particularly, to be able to move to a more tariff reflective regime, according to Adeleabo. Well, Adeleabo also spoke on the broader regional initiatives, revealing that Mission 300, a project aimed at electrifying 300 million unserved people across Africa, will require an estimated 32.8 billion US dollars in funding. So, of this, $15.5 billion is expected from the private sector, with a balance sourced through public-private partnerships, multilateral institutions, and government-backed funding vehicles. So it's sounding good, right? It's looking as if there is some thought put into it. Now, again, it is good to emphasize the fact that policies and policy direction Nigeria has never been bereft of any of those, but it is in terms of policy implementation and execution that Nigeria has been lacking. So The suggested move in finalizing plans to move Nigerians from Nigeria's electricity sector to a more cost-reflective tariff regime sounds good, but here is the reality. Now, the fact is that the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, as it's called, has reported that electricity distribution companies, DisCos, right, received a total of 254,404 customer complaints in the first quarter of 2025. Should I repeat that again? Okay. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, has reported that electricity distribution companies, DisCos, received a total of 254,404 customer complaints in the first quarter of Nigeria. I don't know why. I just got that thought that Nigerians are like, wait a minute, it should be more than that. But at least that is what has been officially put in the public space. Well, the majority of these grievances stem from issues related to faulty metering, inconsistent service, and inaccurate billing. Yes. Now, according to NERC's newly released quarterly report, the number of complaints filed between January and March 2025 represents a 7.72% decrease from the 275,681 complaints recorded in the first quarter of 2024. Now, the total number of complaints received in 2025 quarter one was 254,404 across all DisCos. This represents a 7.72% decrease compared to the 275,681 received in quarter four of 2024. So, now what this is telling us is that there's been some improvement. That's why there has been a reduction in the complaint, right? Well, the report showed that the top three complaint categories were: 1, metering, 42.84%, billing, 12.27%, and service interruption, 7.66%, which together make up about 62.77% of all complaints in the quarter. Now, Port Harcourt DisCo emerged as the most complained about distributor, lodging 57,843 cases, 22.74% of the national total. On the opposite end, Yola DisCo received the fewest complaints at 2,495,000, which is about 0.98% of the national total. So, other high volume complaint DisCos include Ibadan, 4,393, Eco, that's Lagos, Eco distribution, 36,780, that we can understand. And of course, still in Lagos, Ikeja, the Ikeja distribution company with 25,555. Notably, Abuja DisCo, which had 23,963 complaints in quarter four of 2024, saw a dramatic drop to 6,025 in quarter one of 2025. Now, yes, it's a dramatic drop. Could it just be that Abuja residents just got tired of complaining, and that probably is the reason why there is a dramatic drop from what was obtainable in quarter four of 2024 as compared to quarter one of 2025, and the differential in terms of decline is about 74.02%, the steepest across all DisCos. So, following this impression, it will look as if Abuja is doing far better. The FCT is doing far better. Well, as I did say earlier, the studio line is live and active for us to hear from residents of the Federal Capital Territory, residents of Abuja. Please tell me, seriously, What's your take? Has power seriously improved in the FCT? Are you of 24 hours? How many hours of public supply do you get in a day? Because now the impression is that Abuja Disco is working hard, doing well. It's among the most pressing concerns, as I have highlighted earlier, is metering. With Kano Disco alone. Kano Disco alone received 25,988 metering related complaints. Second only to Eco Disco with 17,972 cases. Eco also recorded 4,497 service interruption complaints and 11,562 in other categories. Port Harcourt Disco led billing-related complaints with 5,260 cases and also topped the others category with 28,959 complaints. Ibadan Disco received 3,200 metering-related cases and a high volume of unspecified issues categorized under others at 25,940. Other less prominent complaint categories include voltage issues, 3,900, load shedding, 202, disconnection, 1,417, and of course delays amounting to about 736. Now, next report highlighted the complaints in the billing category resulted in customers' refunds totaling 32.2 billion naira. During the quarter. Now, these amounts were credited after verification of overbilling claims. Now, the Central Complaints Unit, CCU, of the Commission received an additional 4,169 complaints directly, with billing, metering, and service interruptions remaining the most reported issues. At the CCU level, Port Harcourt and Ikeja Discos recorded the highest number of billing complaints with 91 and 283 respectively, followed by Abuja with 194. I was wondering. While commenting on the development, Next said, and I quote, the credit adjustment on customers' bills following resolved complaints is a strong indicator of our commitment to customer protection and accountability in the power sector, end of quote. The regulator reiterated its plan to improve complaint resolution processes and strengthen oversight of 11 DisCos. Now, despite these challenges, the DisCos collectively generated 553.63 billion naira in revenue during Q1 of 2025. A significant jump and persistent customer dissatisfaction with unreliable power supply, billing discrepancies, and of course, the biggest one, grid instability. Now, as power supply issues persist nationwide, energy experts emphasize that timely resolution of customer complaints will be crucial in building trust and improving service delivery across Nigeria's electricity sector. So that, in terms of data, statistics, that is the supposed reality in terms of the issues and complaints that have been placed formally across the country and the various 11 DisCos. Right now, amid high electricity costs, guess what? Universities had to get any form of subsidy. Right, so 1 year after the federal government declared that public institutions include, that is the true situation. So let's get into the conversation. It is the arena, and of course, you know how we do it. We get interactive, engaging, and let's hear what's the power situation in your area. Is there a way forward out of this quagmire or dilemma, as the case may be? The power sector is a critical part of our developmental stride. It is a crucial part of our economic move to self-sustainancy and different growth indices. So where power is an issue, definitely the economy will have issues. Definitely productivity will be low. So tell me, What do you think? How do we get out of this challenge that we're faced with? You know the studio lines. It's 0808 312 8618. 0808 312 8618. Remember, when you do get through on the phone lines, tell us your name, your location, and please make your contributions straight to the point, and most importantly, please be civil. I know power is one of those sensitive issues that when it comes up, you know, we get all emotional about it. There are communities who haven't seen a blink of a light bulb for months, some even years, especially within the southeastern, south part of Nigeria. So power is a major factor as far as developmental strides is concerned. So where do we go? How do we resolve this issue? Because while the Minister of Power, I beg your pardon, Adebayo Adelabu, was first to announce the plan for electricity subsidy for public institutions such as universities and health institutions, which are critical. In fact, I think it is important to highlight that one of the reasons why we have medical tourism on a high, we have Nigerians leaving Nigeria to seek medical health care outside the shores of Nigeria, is because they are afraid of situations where, I mean, surgery is going, and the next thing, bam, power outage. Yes, in the hospital, during surgery. I mean, how do you explain that? A lot of public hospitals don't even have backup power plants, power generators. Yes, and even those that have, they cannot, you know, operate those support power generating plants because of very simple things. No money to buy diesel, no money to buy petrol. Yes. And even where they manage to buy diesel or petrol, they can only buy limited volume of it. So the power plant only comes up when it's necessary. You understand? So there are it's more like a multiplex hydra-headed situation when we begin to look at the power sector. Yes, of course. I mean, just imagine 1 year after the federal government declared that public institutions, including hospitals and tertiary institutions, would enjoy 50% subsidy on electricity, the promise is yet to be redeemed. Just imagine that. 1 year, 12 months after promising, it's yet to happen. And what we've seen is band A, band B, band C, and all kinds. In fact, in recent times, tariffs have been increased without even the average Nigerian being in the know. Certain things have happened, and that, I mean, explains the volume of complaint that you know, the NEC has had to deal with in the first quarter, and of course in the last quarter of 2024 and first quarter of 2025. So tell me, what do you think? How do we resolve this power issue? Because it's getting more expensive. I did start the show by letting you know that there is the tendency that we may have to pay more, because in a bid to resolve a 4 trillion naira debt owed to power generation companies, GenCos, the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, has announced that the federal government is finalizing plans to move Nigeria's electricity sector to a more cost-reflective tariff regime. You understand? Now, I mean, according to the minister, the power ministry's key priorities include liquidity resolution, tariff reform, and grid stability. And when they begin to speak these grammars, you know, you and I know very well that what that suggests is that we're going to pay more for power. So call us up. Let's hear what your thoughts are. Let's see if we can prefer a solution to these problems. I mean, we seriously need to begin to think of how to resolve the issue of power. Some have said there is a need for complete restructuring or onboarding of the power sector, as similar to what President Olusegun Obasanjo did during his administration. He onboarded what was known as the National Electricity Power Authority, NEPA, which we have not forgotten till tomorrow. Every time power comes up or goes off, what you hear is up NEPA, down NEPA. Even though it has been onboarded, NEPA has come to stay. All right. So now, surprisingly, the National Security Advisor, in the person of Malam Nuhu Ribadu, has said that Nigeria is better and safer under Tinubu. I don't know if he's also suggesting that everything has been better in the last 2 years. But let's hear from Malam Nuhu Ribadu. And then when we come back, of course, the phone lines will be opened, and you get to tell us what you think as we look at the call for the federal government to rethink its approach to the power sector. I mean, the call is that it should end indirect enrichment of private electricity distribution companies with public funds. I just told you how much the power sector has made, over 500 and something billion just in the first quarter of 2025, and yet, service delivery is not at its peak. Let's hear from Malam Nuhu Ribadu.
In Nigeria today, I can assure you, because of the role you have played, you, the leadership of the armed forces, you make everyone feel at home. The intelligence community, the civil police, all the others, when they are in your midst, they feel one. They feel very, very comfortable. And I can assure you, it's part of what we are witnessing, the progress and the change taking place in our country. Things have changed in this country since you came in, you as leaders. We are proud of you. You are defending the territorial integrity of our country. You are defending our democracy. You are defending law and order. You are making a difference. Our neighbors are losing to terrorists, to insurgents. You are standing tall. You are what we are, and Nigeria is what it is because of what you are doing. And I can assure you, yes, people will talk, politicians will do their politics. Don't mind, don't bother, don't ever feel. Nigeria is in good hands, and Nigeria is in good shape. Nigeria is moving, Nigeria is progressing. We are improving. If you see the reforms that, or changes that took place in the last 2 years, it's unprecedented. Things that have been on for decades, some of them 30 years or more, challenges that ordinarily will bring down countries, we are still standing strong. We are addressing them. You need to go around and see how things have changed. There is no part of Nigeria today you cannot move free. No part. There is no why you can say people are in captivity. It's a lie. You cannot completely say criminals and bad people will stop what they are doing. But our ability to respond is what matters. Anywhere, anything happen in this country today, you'll be there. And you will address it, and you will reverse it, and you will change it, and you will give us back our lives. For the first time, I can assure you, they are on the run. Niger Delta is back. Sometimes we go for weeks without violence. Southeast is back. They are giving them back their lives. The economy is beginning to pick up. Even here in the northwest and north central, hitherto it used to be no-go area in many places. Now you can take your car and drive at night and go to Kaduna. Now you can go to Lokoja. Now you can go to Mina. Now you can go to Boko. You are working. And it's not just like that. Something is happening. And there is nowhere today. You can drive to Gusau if you like. Yes, things are happening. Politicians may not want to allow Nigerians to appreciate that because they would play their politics. But don't mind them. Continue to do the right thing. Continue to secure our country. Continue to for coming here. And I told him I'm coming to this event. And he said I should bring his gratitude and thanks to you. You are the reason why today Nigeria, and like always, on behalf of a very grateful country, we say thank you. Nigerians are feeling it in their own. Those who are living in the villages, those farmers who have gone back to their farms in probably more than 80 places, 80%. Those who can do their business, schools that are being opened, little clinics that are daily opening across the country, they are the ones who know what is happening. And they are happy with the development. I'm taking my time of the work you are doing. And people are very, very, very grateful. This is an event that will continue as additional innovations, ideas to continue to bring. We speak with one voice. We work as one, all, and you are also doing it with the armed forces. This place is a good innovation. It's something that can help because there is no way we can continue to be in silos. People doing different things without coordination and not one single platform that brings all of us. We want to thank you and God bless you. God continue to bless the armed forces of our country and God bless Nigeria.
All right, it's still the arena right here on 96.1 FM, the voice of the people. And of course, before now, you heard the voice of Malam Nuhu Ribadu, the National Security Advisor to Mr. President, insisting that Nigeria is working. We're safer now, we're more secured now, the economy is improving, things are working. And so now you can take your car, drive almost anywhere at night. Well, you tell me if you agree with the National Security Advisor. The studio line is live and active, 0808-312-8618. And you get to tell me as we look at the call for the federal government to rethink its approach to the power sector. Yes, to end indirect enrichment of private electricity distribution companies with public funds. Yes. Now, Senator representing Oyo Central, Senator Yunus Abiodun Akintunde had called on the federal government to stop using public funds to enrich private electricity distribution companies, DisCos. Now, speaking on the floor of the Senate, Senator Akintunde, who is chairman, Senate Committee on Environment, said the present arrangement where public funds are used to purchase electricity transformers for communities only for the assets to be taken over by DisCos, who then charge for installation and claim ownership, was it's not right, according to the senator. He said, look, this is not right. He said, and I quote, when you buy a transformer, you give it to communities, distribution companies will ask you to pay for installation. On the day they energize the transformer, it becomes their property. It means we are using government money to enrich some individuals operating as DisCos. This is not just about transformers, it's about correcting a broken system. Let's stop using public funds to empower private monopolies. Let's instead empower Nigerians with affordable and reliable electricity. End of quote. The lawmaker, who holds a PhD, my fellow doctor, in energy and environmental studies. Now we are talking. At least he's talking about a field he is familiar with. Asked the federal government to go the whole hog by privatizing the transmission segment, just as it did for generation and the distribution arm. And of course, he was quoted as saying, and I quote, if you look at the infrastructure in transmission, they are old and underutilized. End of quote. Senator Akintunde called on the federal government to consider grant of subsidy in the power sector, which he noted was vital to stimulate economic growth and development. He maintained that subsidy is in the power sector is a global practice, not an aberration. I think I should repeat that again. Subsidy in the power sector is a global practice, not an aberration. He said, and I quote, there is nowhere in the world where power is not being subsidized. Even in the United Kingdom, we cannot abandon subsidies because of past mismanagement. Energy should be subsidized. It is a fundamental pillar of economic management. End of quote. Yes, that is the position of the senator representing Oyo Central, Senator Yunus Abiodun Akintunde, who happens to be the Senate Committee Chairman on Environment. And most importantly, I admire the fact that the man is a PhD holder in energy and electricity, generation and all of that. So, it's important that we're beginning to have sound minds in this sector, beginning to, point the direction or give some policy direction as to the way to go. He has emphasized, and I agree, that nowhere in the world is subsidy in the energy sector completely done away with, as suggested by the current Minister of Power, Adelabu. And to be honest, in recent times, especially when the minister declared that he will be running for the gubernatorial race in his state, many stakeholders had already, looked at him as a failure as a minister of power, considering the various grid collapses experienced in most recent times. If you look at the number of collapses, it's just that going into the second half of 2025, there seems to be some stability in power supply. But you are the ones who are at the receiving end, so you should tell us, what do you think? Can there be a redirection, a change of trajectory for the power sector in Nigeria? How should the Nigerian government approach the varied challenges? Especially, Senator Akintunde has suggested that it should go the whole hog, not not just privatizing the distribution and transmission part of it, but it should also go the whole hog of privatizing the generation arm of the entire electricity blockchain, right? So where do we go from here? 0808 312 8618. That's the number. And remember to tell us your name, your location, and be concise with your contribution. Tell us, in the last 3 months, how has power been in your area? Yes. Have you enjoyed consistent power? In 24 hours, how much power have you enjoyed? How much power have you been able to consume? And let's know what the power situation is in your locality. Well, it's important that we begin to look at everything that relates to the power sector. As Senator Akintunde said, power is a key factor, a key indices in terms of economic growth. The Senate also drew the attention to what he called a fundamental structural imbalance in Nigeria's power sector. According to him, while generation and distribution have been privatized, the government still retains control of the aging transmission infrastructure and act he described as underutilized and inadequate. Right? So we need to look at virtually every aspect of the value chain when it comes to the power sector. You know, we need to seriously take time to understand why the power sector is still, undergoing, or still experiencing the setbacks that it is currently faced with. The phone lines are open, 0808-312-8618. And don't forget, you can, if you can't call, you can send your views, comments, and reactions via text message to the same number, 0808-312-8618. Or you can use our WhatsApp platform. The WhatsApp portal also has the same number, 0808-312-8618. 8618, or you can hit us up on our social media handles. Like I like to say, even when the show is off the air, the conversation continues online. So I would advocate that you follow, like, share, subscribe to VOP 961 FM on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, formerly known as Twitter. And yes, we are live on YouTube, even as we speak. Yes, we are live on YouTube. So if I were you, I would follow, like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification button on the YouTube so that when live streams, updates come up, you will be notified. Okay? So, the fact still remains that 1 year after the federal government declared that public institutions, including hospitals and universities, would enjoy 50% subsidies on electricity, the promise is yet to be fulfilled or redeemed. Now, while the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, was first to announce the plan for electricity subsidy to public institutions, the Minister of State for Health, Tunji Alausa, subsequently explained that the subsidy will be 50% payment. Now, Adelabu, who made the disclosure during a broadcast on various radio stations, especially across southwest Nigeria in Oyo State, went further to say that the government would not extend the subsidy to private businesses operating within the public institutions, that is universities and hospitals. Now, while reacting, he acknowledged that the government is aware of the difficulties these public institutions are facing in managing these increased costs. I did talk about the fact that most public institutions, if you check, don't even have backup power plants, and the ones that do can't afford to maintain those power plants because of the high cost involved. Well, on the part of the Minister of Health, he declared that the government approved 50% electricity subsidy for all public hospitals and public tertiary institutions, including universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education across the country. Now, according to the Health Minister, this was later clarified. Okay, I think we have a call coming through. Let's see if we can take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
John, good morning. This is Obed.
Obed, nice to have you join us. So, Obed, where are you reaching us from?
From Guaripa Housing.
Okay, how is Guarimpa this morning?
Guaripa is good, thank you.
Okay, Obed, you may need to turn down the volume of your radio set because we're having a bit of feedback so that we can have a clean, clear conversation. Thank you, Obed.
Yeah,
Good.
I've done that.
Please
okay,
go
now,
ahead.
A couple of things.
Yes, go ahead.
I'll start by EFCC. EFCC said that the politicians are now using
cryptocurrency to launder money. Yeah.
To launder money. You see, that is why EFCC can never be taken serious. The purpose that former President Obasanjo established EFCC has been defeated. This present chairman said last time that he will resign if he fails to prosecute Yaya Bello. And the whole Nigeria hear him that he will not, that he cannot resign. But what did he do today? Has he resigned?
Yeah, but
No.
The persecution of the
okay.
former Kogi State governor is ongoing.
Yes.
It's ongoing. So he has, to a certain extent, fulfilled his mandate.
But he made a public statement
Yes.
that he will resign. But he has not resigned. We all saw what played out for the arrest. We all saw it. Now, he said politicians are not using cryptocurrency. This is the same cryptocurrency that they descended on Nigeria youth years back. That Nigeria youth are using it. They said all sorts of things. They use all their machinery to bring down the youth of this country. Now he's now saying the politicians are not using it. He should go after them. They know them. It's not by telling no. Why is it that the political class they are more powerful than the institution in this country? Why?
Good question, Obed.
Good question. I'm not siding the Yahoo boys. I'm not siding them. I don't even like it. But they will arrest Yahoo boys and use a placard to write their name, write their offense, and display them on television and newspapers. But why are they not doing it? Why are they not doing same to the politicians? The politicians will go to court. They will find them, open their boots, bring out the fine, and use shorties amongst themselves, and they will go back home. So you see, the poor will never have a voice in this country.
Okay.
It's so unfortunate.
Okay.
Let me go to the power sector.
Yes.
The minister said that Nigeria should raise up for more tariffs.
Yes.
And now he has not been able to complete even one portfolio that was given to him or that has been given to him as a power minister. He's looking forward to becoming governor in his state.
Okay, Obed, tell me, in Guarimpa, what's the power situation like?
It's not stable. But Peter Obi said he would do it, but they mocked over him, and but now we are power. I'm 50 years now. Before I was born, my parents were saying NEPA. Now 50 years, I don't still have light. They are still using generator.
Now Peter Obi acknowledged the challenge in the power sector, and he did say he took the trouble of going to places like Egypt and a host of other countries to understand how they run their power industry effectively. And he did say that the changes that should occur in our power sector, it won't happen overnight, but he said it is possible.
They laughed at him. But you can also attest to the trillions that have been expended in same sector, year in, year out, but no result. People are paying bills every day. Where is the money? Where is it going?
All right.
See, John, let me just end with this statement.
Yes.
You know that it is easier to do the right thing than doing. It is easier to do the right thing.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, it's very easy. It's like if I'm telling you a lie, you know that I will also be planning.
Mm.
You know, multiple answers. In case if John asks me this, I will tell him this. If he asks me this, I will do this. But if I tell you the truth, I will just say, this is what I said, and this is how I did it. The result is there. If you want to use whatever forensic, whatever, the results are there. You don't have anything to fear about. You don't need to use or to be cracking your head or racking your head to defend yourself. Very easy. As a family man, you know what is good for your family.
True.
What are we not talking about?
All right,
You're
Obed.
a leader. You know what to provide.
Thank you so much, Obed. I really appreciate your contribution this morning.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You too, Obed. You too. 0808-312-8618. That's the number. We have very limited time. Up next at the top of the hour will be our Igbo program. So our Igbo brothers and sisters, get ready. It promises to be interesting. And just before I sign out, let's see if we can take this one quickly. Hello, good morning. Hello, there seems to be some distortion on your line. I'm sorry. Okay, that's much better. Your name and where you're reaching us from.
Okay, my name is Emeka David. I'm calling from Kubwa.
Okay, hi, Kubwa this morning.
Kubwa is fine.
So, Emeka, quickly, what's your take on the power issue?
Okay, fine and good. God bless you. I've been waiting for a moment like this to express myself.
Go ahead.
Yes, normally, an average Nigeria, we always experience power improved during rainy season. Yes, this kind of program should be done during the core heat period. That is when we know whether our power has improved
or not.
In Nigeria, yes.
Okay.
Because an average Nigeria, every rainy season, we normally experience improvement in our power supply.
Okay.
Yes, and most amazing thing is like we always ask ourselves from our childhood, like, why is it normally like this? It's only rainy season we see light, we can enjoy an average of 8 to 10 hours of light, depending on area and location. But when it goes to heat period, that is the end. Like some places, you hardly even see the light. You don't even know whether it's existing or not. And which is very bad.
Well, Emeka, you have said something, and I will keep it in mind that as we go into the dry season, the hot period, we will have this conversation again. So let you two keep monitoring, keep tabs, so that by the time we have that conversation, we'll look at the numbers again. All right? Thank you so much, Emeka.
No problem, sir. You're welcome, sir. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. All right, Emeka reaching us all the way from Kubwa, right here in the nation's capital. And with that, we've come to the end of today's edition of The Arena. Remember, at the top of the hour, our Igbo show. And of course, immediately after that, Fresh will be in the house to take you through what's happening as it is hot. And of course, at the top, at noon, it will be the national news right here on Voice of the People 96.1 FM.